Welcome to the Voices That Propel Us, stories of justice, action, and community, a space where justice meets action and community voices rise. Each episode, we bring you stories from the front lines, changemakers, disruptors, and everyday heroes who are building a more just, equitable, and liberated world. This is more than a podcast. It's a call to listen, learn, and move together. You were just listening to music from the incredibly talented Stephen Kong. You can find him on Spotify and Bandcamp. Today we have with us Nancy Jasin Ensley. Nancy is a local author, legal nurse, hospice specialist, and teacher whose work reflects a lifetime of service and experience writing to listen, to remember, and to continue creating with purpose. Over the years, she's written across multiple genres, including memoirs, literature and fiction, science fiction, mystery, thriller, action and adventure, and children's literature. Each story she creates is rooted in family, faith, service, and lived experience, and her goal is to explore what it means to grow, persevere, and reflect on life through words. Her life and career has been shaped by a commitment to service and a desire to make a difference in the lives of others. What she brings to podcasts is perspective shaped by a lifetime of listening, observing, and creating. She spent decades in professions that demand empathy and discernment, helping people navigate life's most critical moments, and she's learned that every story, no matter the genre, carries lessons worth sharing. Well, hi, Nancy. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this platform with me. I'm extremely grateful, extremely honored to have you on this podcast. But how are you doing today?
I'm great today. I'm very honored to be on your show, and thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, of course. And before, like what we were talking about right before we start recording, like as I've shared, I think you have such a rich history. You've done so much in your life, and I can't wait to explore more of that. So, with that, just starting off, your work has spanned nursing, hospice care, teaching, and writing. So what do you think is the thread that connects all these different callings together for you?
The thread is, the internal thread is to build my worthiness. I felt as I shared with you, we did have a very traumatic childhood, but benefits in that. And so I tried over the years through counseling, et cetera, to look at that. The other thing is that I believe that writing, often when you put down what you think you're thinking, I'm sure you've seen this. Oh my goodness, that isn't what I was thinking at all. I'll write a poem or something, and there's sadness in there, and I wasn't even feeling sadness, but I was feeling loneliness. That I was invisible. That would do that. So I think anything that drove me through any of the jobs I've had or the professions I've been in was to listen, to forgive. To forgive is very important. Not that you condone what someone's done. Be honest and take risk. Take a risk. So I think those are the driving forces for anything pretty much that I've done in my personal life and professional life.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. And, I want to talk with you more about listening. So was there an early experience that helped to shape your commitment to service and to listen deeply to other people's stories?
I believe that I lived with my grandmother for often because of the things that were going on at home. So I lived with her, and she said to me, she was from Hungary, and I'll use her accent.
Okay.
You will work. You will love your job because it's a gift. Listen for gifts. Be happy. Open the package cautiously. Don't tear the wrapping. And listen. There's a difference between here. I hear you. I hear all kinds of sounds around here. I have hearing aids, so I hear them. I hear things, but I'm not listening to those things. Listening means that you bonded with whatever sounds are going on. So there's a bird out here. It keeps flying back and forth. Okay. If I wanted to listen to that bird, I'd have to block out other things. I really have to listen to what someone is saying, and then interpreting what you're hearing is two different things. That means that I ask questions, as you have.
Mm-hmm.
On I want completeness. I want to understand what you're trying to tell me, and I don't want to give advice unless you want it. So I've had to learn with my children and patients and anyone that I've worked with that I say it appears that you're asking for my input.
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking for that? So I think that's part of listening. That's if you want to debate, you also have to listen to the other side and let them know that you did hear what they said. So I think listening is very important. It's part of writing. I listen to my protagonists. I interview them from 12 to 3 in the morning. I interview them. I talk to them. I said, no, I don't want you to do that here. And this is not going to make a good ending. And my husband says, what are you doing? Who's in there? This is Julie.
Uh-huh.
And, well, there's no one in the room. I said, it is. I make the room bigger.
Uh-huh.
Brain can operate that way. So I think that's very, very important in everything you do. Your children, your spouse, your relationships, your significant others, the friends that you meet. I was told once I was intimidating. I don't want, that would be the last thing I would want to be.
Right.
But because I needed to perform and get feedback that I was good enough, I think I did overdo things, and then it made everyone else look smaller. And so I had to take that, look at that, and understand that. So you find out things about yourself if you really listen and know who you are.
No, I really love that. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but just in your perspective and experience, do you feel that people often make that distinction between hearing and listening? Or do you feel like this is something that people need to practice more?
I think because in our country, become so busy and so overwhelmed with, I was told by a French young man that stayed with us for a year, for almost a year. He said, you live to work instead of work to live.
Right.
And he said, there is no name for crazy in French. He said, but your life is crazy.
Yeah.
You can't sit for longer. I think that's part of the fact that, so I think we need to educate that a little bit more, find out what really is important in your life, who you need, and allow other people, be open, let your support people, the people you trust, be honest with you and say you're doing it again. And you need to, it's not healthy. So I think we're okay we're very intelligent. We've been educated. Education needs a little work, but we've been allowed to be educated in many, many sets that aren't in other countries. But I think we need to not just be there to personally get something back, but to offer something to someone else and hope that it sticks.
Yeah,
So,
no, I love that. And, just in my own, I guess, opinion and perspective and experiences, I feel like there's so much polarization and division right now, especially in this country. I don't know how about in other countries, but yeah, I don't know. Do you feel that like listening can help to heal these wounds that people have and help us to connect more with each other?
oh, Denise, I so agree with you. I think we're a very young country, and we're a melting pot of people comes, traditions are there. History is very important. I was telling someone asked me a similar question a couple of days ago, and I had an economics teacher that everyone hated to go to it. They had to take it. And he said that if you look at history and things that have happened, and you take all those and you show the high points, low points, and how they got where they were, and you put that into a spreadsheet, say you put it on a paper, you will be able to predict. So we're learning something in a very difficult time. I believe we're learning how quickly you can use disrespect, people not listening, only caring what they say, not really hearing what they say and the effects it has on other people. Forgiveness, how you use your language, how you affect other people. I just think I write my congressman all the time.
Okay.
My congressman, and it doesn't matter what side of, I don't care what they have. I get feedback sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Okay. Sometimes I don't. But I always get feedback from our governor. And I watch her and I see the respect she has, no matter what party, no matter what's been done to her or said about her. I see a very adult and respectful. I have a lot of faith. I don't care what your faith is. I don't care what the name of it is. It doesn't matter. You have to believe. Take time to believe that this was created for some reason, and there are paths that are allowed in. If you don't listen, you might not hear the whisper from whatever force it is driving your life. You need to listen for the whispers. And I think we were shouting too much and not hearing the whispers.
Right. That's really beautiful. I love that. And when you first introduced yourself to me, you said something that was so beautiful and so powerful to me. So you said change often begins quietly through presence, advocacy, and dignity. So can you share a moment when you witnessed that kind of quiet change?
Yes.
Okay, I'd love to hear.
I'll be very open with you. In my early 40s, late 30s and early 40s, I had 3 children. I had been divorced. I was working 12-hour days. I was the head nurse on a neural unit. I was exhausted, and I was trying to get another degree. Something happened to me. I have a disease. I started drinking, and I lost my best friend, which was Jesus. I had taken him and as my partner all my life, and I couldn't find him. And I couldn't find myself. My poor children suffered from it. We lost our home. We lost everything we had. Took many, many years to get that back. I believe that whatever there is out there that drives our lives, no matter what it is, whether it's your job or the people you love, whatever it is, I think that you can survive that if you be honest with yourself, if you get all the help that's out there for you. I counsel women that have problems with all kinds of addiction, etc. And just being able to listen to them, hear their stories, see what they've gone through, and direct them to where they can get help is a blessing for me. And I've learned that through my own problem, my own trauma. Luckily, I'm still here. I think God said to me many, many times, or my God, what I believe in, said to me, no, you're not leaving. I have a plan for you. And he did. He did. I'm going to be 85 years old. My whole family never lived that long. Never did. And he's keeping around for something. I don't know what it is that I haven't done yet, but use the support. There's all kinds of support that are free. Use the support and write journals. You don't have to show anyone any of it, but you'd be surprised what you find out about yourself and about what you think about other people and how they're treated. So use the issues and the trauma that comes for you to learn and to help someone else. You never know who you're going to help.
Wow, that's such a beautiful journey and beautiful perspective that you have. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, as I'm sure that you're aware, I like to focus my podcast on social justice. So I think, when people come in, they might not necessarily see what they do as a form of activism, but I think through my lens, I see things that people are doing, however beautiful or impactful that they're doing is like contributing towards community empowerment and community change. So, what first taught you that storytelling itself can be a form of service or even justice work?
Oh, I've gotten feedback from people. As
Hmm.
I told you, a physician changed his attitude toward other people
Right,
by just
right.
reading my book. I don't know what in there did that.
Hmm.
So yes, I do give talks. I took certification as a legal nurse consultant. So
Okay.
I got to work with lawyers, and that
Okay.
was scary, really scary. And I
Right.
got to work with lawyers, and I prevented some things that might have happened, very expensive court
Mm.
cases, because they didn't have enough for discovery. They didn't have that. And there's other ways to work it out. I mean, you can have agreements, you can have appeals, you can have all kinds of things. So that I loved. And sometimes I didn't charge for it.
Mm.
I offer a lot of things that I can do. I volunteer for blood banks, for giving talks
Wow.
to in schools. I've been a teacher. I also worked as a school nurse,
Okay.
counseled people. I had a girl that was very traumatized from her home life, and she came to me, and she had, they were going to get her out of school. They were going to take her out of school. There was so many dynamics going on, and I found out that she was being mistreated, and so were her other siblings. So I said, what I'll do, Will, I will counsel you. I will, I will sit with you and help you through so you can get your grades and get out of school. She became, she volunteered when we were in voc ed, and she was
Wow.
wonderful with the elderly, amazing. And I said, you have a gift. And she
Wow.
went ahead and many years later became a physician up in
Okay.
Grand. So you never know if you're going to touch somebody. That may or may
Yeah.
not happen. But go ahead and offer yourself.
Mhm.
Volunteer. I help people in many, many ways that I can. Um, any kind of community service. I haven't gone and marched in anything,
Okay.
but but I certainly write to my congressman, to whomever that I
Right.
think will listen to me. Maybe my ideas are. I've learned a lot from them about
Mhm.
politics and the melee that you have to go through to get somewhere,
Right.
to get anyone to listen to you. So I've learned a lot in that ways. Yes, offer any way you can. A friend called me, and I go over to nursing homes, and I go to assisted living, and I help them. I collect clothes for them. They need clothes, whatever they can do. So yeah, anything that you can do to help. Everybody can help other people, and you get so much more out of that than anybody else does. So
Yeah.
I
No, I
try.
really love that. Thank you for sharing that. And so much of your work has centered people in vulnerable moments. So, what have these experiences taught you about dignity that you think that systems often miss?
I think the dignity being that your time constraints can
Hmm.
make you lose your personal touch that you can get, the bond that you can get with someone else.
Okay.
Uh, there, especially with the bigger, like larger companies taking over healthcare. Healthcare is a very different animal. It's
Right.
one of the biggest that we have, biggest businesses for sure. One of the least listened, understanding politics. Now
Hmm.
that we have politics in there, to get people that really understand that, and
Right.
your product is a human being, the most intricate thing you could possibly take care of. And
Hmm.
so, yes, I do believe that we use statistics without taking that human edge and combining it with that. The finances have become number one. Uh,
Hmm.
Power has switched from the physician and the nurse to pharmaceutical companies, et cetera,
Uh-huh.
insurance companies. That has made a big difference. So I think that has divided us instead of brought us together. Documentation has. Now they're going to use AI. AI will, in some ways, this is good. Okay. An AI, when the nurse comes into the room, anyone in the room that speaks, AI takes those conversations, transmits them to a computer page, and that's reviewed by, I think, either a technician and a healthcare professional, looked to make sure that they told the right story that were in there. So the nurse can get close to the patient instead of standing there with the machine.
Right.
Close touch, see how they feel, how they breathe, I heard a rattle today that the nurse didn't hear because she had to get to her. She had to go right in the computer before she left. I said, wait a minute, where's your stethoscope?
Oh, okay.
You have to be near the patient so that you can understand. So that in and of itself is one way that technology sometimes can improve or discard some of the benefits that you have, your talents of being a healthcare professional. So yes, we need a lot of work. In the 60s, when Kennedy passed away and President Johnson had to take over, there was a plan to give everyone health care. Everyone got health care.
Right.
It was part of your taxes. That's what you got. Everyone got basic health care. You could add a PPO. You could add extras if you needed it by paying a certain cost. If you didn't get your vaccines, or if you were diabetic and you didn't get certain things, it was a good outline for healthcare where you kept the power to make medical decisions within the community that has the education to do it. Not that they're bad people in pharmaceuticals or insurance. They're all trying to do their job, but the dollar sign has taken over.
Right.
We need to, I think we're seeing it. We don't know what to do with it.
Right.
And we're very virgin in handling it. So it'll happen. I hope
so. I hope so.
Yeah. These things happen. This is wonderful. I really had only been on a couple of podcasts, but I've just learned I've had to learn technology a little bit better.
Okay.
Than what I did before. And I believe this is wonderful. My granddaughter, she's a lawyer. She says, "Oh, Grandma, I listen to podcasts all the time.
I love that.
I do in the radio. I do everywhere." She said, "That's where I learn real people that you can open up there because you forget that anybody else is going to listen to this."
No, I agree.
I think they're wonderful. I think it's a wonderful avenue to have conversations.
No, I agree too. And just going back to your point of AI, I think that's what I'm really conflicted about because AI has helped me to be so much more effective in my workflow and everything. But at the same time, I feel like AI can't replace that human care, that the people and these human stories and everything. And even as you say that, it's beneficial to it being used in healthcare, I'm thinking but what are those human aspects that can never be replaced though? Because I don't know, I get frustrated because even my line of work during recruitment, I heard that AI is taking over recruiter jobs. And, I keep reading these different articles saying that these companies are doing mass layoffs because AI is taking over their jobs. So I feel I don't know, it just feels like AI can be both a blessing and a curse. It's great. It's help. I use it to help me with my work as well and help me sound more polished. But at the same time, it's I don't want that to replace people. Or even with AI creating art, we should still have those human artists who are creating those works as well.
I so agree with you. When we had a quite a lengthy tutorial on AI in healthcare and how it's going to be used. A robot giving me pills.
Wow.
There's so much more to handling medications, especially physicians can't keep up on it. Nurses can't. you have to have a pharmacist with you. My daughter's a pharmacist. She comes and tells me what I should and shouldn't be taking at my age, and all that. So AI can't tell me that.
Right.
It's not going. It might give me the info and where to get it. I can't. Plus, you can. Oh yeah, say you have a toolbox. Toolbox is great. Got all the tools in the world. Maybe they can. You can push a button and they can work on their own. But if they don't have a human being using them, so watch that the tools don't replace the human aspect that's so needed. I so agree with you. I do. Yeah, and I understand. A lot of people say, "I don't want anybody. I don't want anything to do with anything." My husband hates the computer and his phone.
That's how my mom is like too.
They're like that too. And I said, well, I've learned a lot from it, but it's not replacing who I am.
Right.
I don't want it to. I don't want it. So we have to be cautious.
Yes.
I just wrote a sci-fi book, and I never would have done that in my life. Okay. And my grandson said, "Grandma, you can make it up." And I said, "A good portion I can, but there has to be facts. Facts.
I love that.
So you believe it." And there's a lot of odd-looking things in a sci-fi, but I gave a lot of backstory to my protagonist. You had to know the people that were going to be taking this ride and how it might have changed them. So I still used the human aspect in something that's really foreign to a lot of people.
Right.
So never know.
Right. No, thank you for sharing that. And, I'd just love to talk with you more about activism too. So in your experience, what does advocacy look like in everyday spaces where people might not necessarily consider themselves as activists?
Oh, okay. I had let me talk to, today, I visited someone who was in a rehab. And I've seen this out in other places where older people, they work at Wendy's and they say, "Oh, how are you feeling today? What did you think about?" They start talking about something they heard on TV and something, and they'll explain what they think that is, and maybe can change how that person views certain things. So I think that's an activity that people can do. Don't be afraid to respectfully give your opinion, because I think that's very helpful, and you always can learn. Another activist depends on what you put out on your flagpole. That makes a difference. The statement that you're making, the signage that you put out. We have a very short street, and we have people that decide that it's a raceway, and there are a lot of children here. So we made signs that said, "Children and animals play here. Please drive slowly."
Right.
And it did affect some people. Some people didn't like it, but it worked. So that's an activity that we can do. If you, I was talking to, here's something that happened. It was Christmas time. And you're going through, everybody's rushing, getting there. There's a little girl ahead of me, about 14. And she had a wad of money, and she had 7 things that she bought for her family, little trinkets. Everybody was in a rush. They wanted her, and she was trying to count out her money. And she said, you have to get rid of 3 things. You can't afford them. I heard it, and I said, "Oh, honey, well, how much do you need? I'll help you." The people behind me that were grumpy and were waiting for someone to wait on them changed.
Wow.
They joined in with that.
Wow.
Not everyone, but they did. There was a long line of people, and they thought, yeah, that's nice. They said, "Oh, honey, you okay? Make sure that she has every one of those 7 things that she needed." So you can be in very tiny ways, or if you want to get into a debate, if you want to talk, if you want to give a talk to a group of people and they want to hear, then listen, because you invited them. You may not agree with them. And also watch your audience. When you have an audience, watch who's dozing off, who's crossing arms. their body language, all of that makes a difference. My friend asked me to sit on a corner with a sign that was very respectful. It was just a sign of what a lot of people needed more respect, some things like that. So we can't stand for a long period of time. So we sat in chairs and held the signs on the corner. And I think because we were in chairs, they listened. So
Right.
do what you can and write. You never know when what you write might be the very thing that somebody needed to hear. So write, send it in, join contests, write to Writer's Digest.
Yeah.
Anything that you can do, I think that's very, very important.
Yeah.
And if you can't write, find a way to communicate.
No, thank you for sharing that. I love that. And it just reminds me of what I think about a lot. I think a lot about like how compassion and kindness also plays a role in like empowering our communities and just making stronger communities. And, another like piece that I think about too is healing. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. So we often talk about justice in political terms, but not always in terms of healing. So what role do you think that healing also plays in liberation?
Definitely healing. You have to heal a wound from the inside out, right? Okay, or it won't heal. So I think that's very, very important that we have to understand. We have to learn about arena, that we might be involved in. I think healing, I think we don't give enough time to healing. I think we want to rush and make it happen. And we miss steps it takes to heal whatever kind of wound it is, whether it's injustice, whether it's aggression, whether it's guns, whatever it's community, something happening to my community. What is it blight? Is it something I can do about it? So look for the underpinnings of things that inhibit healing and not giving it enough time, not understanding who you need to draw in and watch. Do you want the applause? Are you willing for someone else to take it? And so I think it's really important as well. So that's my healing story.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And next, I'd love to talk with you more about your writing. So you write across a lot of different genres, from memoir to science fiction to mystery. So what does each of these genres allow you to explore about humanity or justice?
I think there is a thread from my memoir all the way through is to I did mention that I want the backstory of my protagonist to be enough so that they understand who they are there. Okay. At that point in time, even if it's children, young adults, all of those, and you have to do some research to do that. You have to research to understand that thread. I would listen to other people and see what they're reading. My great grandkids come over and I look at the books they like to look at and what, even if they can't read it, they'll pick certain books and what is it that drew you to that? What was important about that? He was nice. He was nice. All of them said that. He was nice. They didn't look at how he looked, what color he was, where he came from. I have Bernard Bartholomew Bosselbein is a combination of an earthling and a man from outer space that they made fun of there. And they sent him here on Earth in an old dilapidated machine.
Okay.
Bernard has antennas and frizzly hair, long arms and long legs, but he can do magical things with them. They don't know that. And the kids started teasing him and he'd always smile. Never stop smiling, smile, 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 smile. And so he saved somebody that fell in a well. And all of a sudden, they realized that it didn't matter what you look like, didn't matter where you came from, didn't matter what was different from you, that everyone's the same. Everybody's important. So I hope that thread is in there, even trying to understand someone that's committed a crime. Committed a crime. Is there something that needs to heal in them so that they don't do another one? Or do I just throw them in a prison and do nothing? Other countries we need to learn from. The Scandinavian countries are closing their prisons because they treat mental health and they treat addiction and they treat a lot of things. Found that you don't have to, you can't do anything in prison, other than watch a. Hopefully, they might have some certain things, but we need to learn from other countries what they've learned, because they're older than, they've gone through those ups and downs that we have and looked at them. So I just think that thread, one, my memoir taught me about survival. And then I loved Huck Finn stories. So and I taught teenagers, and I just love them. They're hilarious and they're a lot of work. But I had two boys that got into a mess that had big losses and wrote orphans that were for young adults. I didn't really realize I was doing that genre. Children's books I love. I think they're amazing, and you can hit a nerve that's there. You'll never know until later on. Mysteries, I love romance. I am a great romantic, and I love it. I've had 3 husbands, so I ought to be good at it. And so I watch things happening in the community. It's a small community. Toledo it's about the size of Cleveland, and they have been working so hard on crime. So I want to write those mysteries and hope that thread is there, that we can heal. So in all of those, I don't always have really good endings, though. That doesn't mean that life is always going to answer you in the way you want. But that's why I do different ones. And I do want to do a historical 3-volume. I love the 18th century. So I'm hoping that I live long enough to do that.
Great. No, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that. And with the next question, it actually reminds me of something that came up when I've been doing my own podcast. So I've been inviting different people, from different walks of life and different experiences. But something that came up that surprised me is like people would say like, "Oh, Denise, I'm so honored that you asked me, but why would you even ask me to go on your podcast? I'm just an ordinary person." And I'd be so like, "Oh my goodness, no, you have such a powerful story." And I just love like pulling out that beauty. And, if I can even help people to see like the value of their own stories, I feel like, that's work that I want to do as well. So with that, for people who think that their own stories are too ordinary to matter, what would you tell them?
Oh my word. I've learned so much from people that you just, everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. I tell people, if you want to write a story, there are places that you can go and write them, because you have a story. And meeting people from all walks of life, hospice, care, working in homes where people had nothing, they have a story, and how they survived that. How did they get through them? And I had 11 clinics on the east side of Toledo. Very, very poor people that were disadvantaged. They had all kinds of problems. A lot of times the grandparents were watching again. "Oh, I'm nothing. I'm nothing." I said, no one is nothing. Always have something. Even I worked with autistic kids with attention deficit, all kinds of problems, couldn't talk. They all have a gift. And that doesn't mean that you have to be in the newspapers and you have to get trophies, because the trophy is that you have something to offer someone, and there is someone out there that you changed their life from what you said. Everyone that you put on your podcast, whether they think they're worthy or not, will be able to hit someone. We may never know who that is, but I so agree with you. Just let them know. I'm telling all of you out there that I never thought I was worth. I never really think I have that much to offer. But sometimes I find out, what you said the other day, that's just exact. I write a little poem to people, and sometimes it's funny. Every once a week, to all my friends, all my acquaintances, and what I get back is just what I wanted to hear today. Thank you for that. And that doesn't make me a star. I'm not famous, and I don't expect to be. I want to be present. And tell everyone that thinks they're invisible, they aren't. You just have to look enough to see. So bring them on your podcast. They all have a story.
Yeah, no, I think so too. That's what I'm really trying to do with this podcast too. I want people to realize that you don't need to be famous or have a platform for your story to matter. Like I don't know. I've just wondered, like, where do you think those messages are coming from? Because I've seen people even write about that, like when they felt like they couldn't talk about their trauma because they weren't like someone famous. So I don't know if these are like societal messages that we're telling like ourselves, or because I get stuck in that too. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say this because I'm I'm just me. But like, where do you think that those messages are coming from?
I do. I think it's an internal. Here's an example.
Okay.
Everyone is born, and I used to counsel pregnant girls that stayed in high school. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even know who the father was half the time. And so I took 2 blow up dolls, one completely blown up. This is your self-worth, completely doesn't have any crevices. The ones with crevices, you fill it with something.
Okay.
And it can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be all kinds of things. Some of the dents need to be healed with something really strong. And you can become a whole person that way. And I worry because of listening, because you feel that someone is not going to listen to you. And sometimes people walk away from you. Like you don't belong in the group. You're not in a group. We're very group oriented to the group we feel safe with. And we seem to fit in. Just, you're probably going to have 2 worthy friends by the end of your life, that do that. And so I do think it comes from a fear. Fear is the base for most things. And you have to identify what that fear is and whether it needs, true counseling or whether you just need to take a risk and try to talk to someone. And if they don't worry about it because they're somewhere else.
Right.
Listening to themselves. Okay. So, yes, I worry about people that hide and think they're invisible, and maybe they are. There's a movie that we have to watch every year as teachers. It's called Cipher in the Snow, and it talks about a young boy who was visible, who fit in, and something happened in his family, and he withers away, thinking. He sits in the back of the room. The teachers didn't even remember him. He gets off the bus one day, falls in the snow. He was terrible. He didn't have good clothes. He didn't have good food anymore. Mom was working all the time, didn't have the attention he needed, and he died. And they said, "Who was that?"
Yeah.
Was that? So let him know that you're there. Yeah. He withdrew, thinking he wasn't visible, and he became invisible. So you don't want to do that. Don't hide. Don't hide in the closet. That was my memoir. It was going to be, I used to hide in the closet. I got out of the closet and decided that I am going to let people know that I'm here.
Right.
Even if I might feel invisible. So I hope if anybody hears that you can help it.
Right. No, thank you for sharing that. I really love that a lot. And so you've said that change belongs to everyday people, which I also agree with and I think is really beautiful. So what does everyday courage look like to you?
Everyday courage is okay, here's something courageous.
Okay.
I decide that if I go out and mow the lawn, I'm not going to do a good job, and people are going to look at me and say, "Oh, she's fat. She shouldn't be wearing shorts." Just the world, everybody's so busy looking at other things that isn't that important. And go and do what you want to do. Say, "Oh, I've never done that before. I like to play pickleball. That pickleball would be great. Go try it. There's all kinds of places to do it." Say, "Oh, I've never done that in my life. I'll never cook. I can't cook. I don't know how to cook." Well, there's Pinterest. There's all kinds of ways that give you minute by minute, tell you what to do. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. It doesn't matter. The end result, the thing that's prime is you tried it. You went ahead and tried it. So those things, just get over your fear. It's fear is the basis for all kind, good and bad outcomes. So look at your fear, decide what risk it is, and just driving. My granddaughter's terrified of driving. She's 19. She went to college. I said, you're going to drive down the street here. There's not a lot of cars. You are going to do it, and you're going to do great. And she drove down the street. It was terrified the whole time. And I said, now you turn to the end, you're going to go in the driveway, back out, and come. And now she's driving.
Okay.
She's still worried. She doesn't trust people that drive crazy, but she did it.
Yeah.
But you need encouragement sometimes. You just need someone tell you that it's okay.
Right.
That it isn't, everybody isn't watching you. And everybody isn't evaluating how well you do. You think they are. Maybe they are, and maybe they tell you, oh, that was stupid. You don't know what you're doing. If it matters to you, then do it.
Yeah.
And clap for yourself. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror every morning when you look in the mirror and say, you are a good person. I like you. God made you. I can make me the very best thing that he wanted me to be. So just go do it, or whatever you believe in, whether it's the force. Believe in the mirror and find something that you like about yourself. I could look at my hair standing up on end. I could look at, shouldn't have wore polka dots because that's all you see. I could look at that, but I want to hear me.
Right.
And you do a beautiful job, by the way.
Oh, no, thank you for sharing that. That's so wonderful. And I think that's so empowering that people just need to give those positive messages to themselves. And I really hope that after people listen to this, that they can really take that to heart. But, thank you so much for your time. I had such a wonderful time talking with you. But just as we're wrapping up, so something that I want to do with this podcast, I want people to feel empowered to make changes, positive changes in their communities, wherever they may be at. And just like, even if it might be small baby steps. So for listeners who want to contribute to a more just world, but they're feeling overwhelmed, where do you recommend that they can start?
I think in small communities, they have ways to volunteer. Sometimes you get a lot of mail, and there's ways that you can help in certain ways, maybe not by giving money, but to volunteer, to write something, you can write the Reader's Digest. You can write something to the local paper. You can go, say you know how to knit. You know how to find someone a group that you can talk to. If you've shared a loss, you can go and volunteer for survival of loss groups. Look at churches. Churches have lists and lists of needs. Like someone, at our church, we have almost 400 cars that come for a food drop. We give them food, and we also pray for them and listen to their stories. And they need volunteers. You don't have to belong to the area. They always need volunteers. So you can call community services, and they will ask, get your help that way. If you belong to a church or an organization and they need somebody to do something, even if it's folding envelopes or anything, you're helping. You're doing a service. Other people will see that and say, if she can do it, I think I can do it. Write your congressman or the people that are in charge of things. You may never hear anything, but you'd be surprised if you get one thing back. You might have made all the difference in the world. So you can do that as well. And then be an example for other people. If there's something you're complaining about, find out what it is and say, maybe if I act this certain way, maybe that'll make a difference, instead of grumbling about with I was grumbling about cleaning out my camper. We're going to sell it. And I found out that I'm a hoarder. I had 25 things of towels, and I'm insane, crazy. And instead of doing that, I thought, maybe I can take all the stuff that I didn't really need and give it to somebody and and Goodwill, whatever. and
Yeah.
they'd love to have it. So yes, you can do all kinds of service that way.
Yeah.
Take your, if you can walk, or if you
Mm-hmm.
need a little assistant walking, take your cart and put it
Mm.
back in the cart. You're helping that person. Just that little thing.
Right.
Instead of leaving it in the middle
Uh-huh.
of the parking places. All those things. I have my cart. I empty it. I'm in a handicap center, and the family's coming. I said, "Would you like a cart? Would
Uh-huh.
you like a cart instead of putting
Right.
it there?" So you can do you can do
Yeah.
big things too. You can.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I agree too. And I feel like no act of kindness is too small. Like anything, like it really just adds up. Yeah.
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 And you can change a community.
Yeah, I
Believe me.
agree with you too. Because, yeah, like if everyone just starts doing an act of kindness every day, that really can change a community. That's what I try to think in my own activism too. I let people know, yeah, even if you think it's too small, still do it. Like there's no such thing as too small of an
Yes.
act.
Everybody has a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Be
I
the
agree.
tiniest little gift. A friend of mine, she has PTSD. She makes jewelry, and she
Okay.
made little things with nice sayings on them. Rocks. She took
Okay.
rocks, painted them. She gave them. She left them in the boxes outside police stations. Firemen, service people
Mm.
left them for them, and she got a commendation from the mayor saying
Wow.
that you don't know how that made them feel.
Wow. I love
Yeah,
that.
she just did it. She just wanted to do it. She
Yeah.
didn't expect anything from it.
Yeah.
Just, and she got it.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? I have a
That's
girl
so
that
wonderful.
rescues feral cats,
Hmm.
puts her own money in getting them fixed because the babies usually die
Oh, right.
because they can't get enough food for them or they get attacked. She has given her life taking
Uh-huh.
care of those, and she has a little place outside her camper that
Hmm.
she heals the ones that will allow her to.
Okay. No, I really love that. But,
Yeah,
thank you again. I had such a wonderful time talking with you and learning about your journey and your experiences. I feel like you have so much wisdom and insights to offer. And thank you for sharing that with my listeners and me. But just lastly, how can people find you if they'd like to connect with you or learn more about your work?
I am on. I am on social media. I'm on Facebook and all those. I have a
Okay.
website. It's www.nancyjasinensley. That's all one big word.
Hmm.
.com.
Okay.
Or you can just look up that and then other podcasts. Um, my writing will be some of my books now are I'm going to give some book signings and things in the
Hmm.
libraries and stuff like that. They certainly can find me in Amazon, all of those. There's links in my website, and it'll tell you a
Hmm.
little bit about my books and then also about me. And
Hmm.
then they can link with all of the social media and all the other places that I can be seen. So, and I'm
Okay.
certainly open to talk to any group. If anybody would like to, they can certainly contact me on
Okay.
social media or any other way. I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I
Uh-huh.
have a lot to say. Oh, that's another service.
Okay.
I've been in a lot of different roles,
Oh,
and so
cool.
I answer my niece is a world traveling leadership
Hmm.
consultant. She goes all over the world, and she
Okay.
loves me commenting, even though they may not pay attention to it. But
Uh-huh.
I make comments on
I
those.
love
I think
that.
that's really important for
I
people
agree
to.
too. No, and
Yeah,
I think that's what people have to realize too. It's not, it's great making the comments, but also like it pushes and makes the algorithm recognize like, oh, this content is worth pushing out. So that's why I tell people, even if you just like or like have a comment, it teaches the algorithm to push that person's content out.
you're, you're so right.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like LinkedIn. Why would I go on LinkedIn? I haven't been. I'm."
Okay.
I said, "You'd be surprised who's on
Right.
there."
Right.
Maria Shriver. I mean, all kinds of people that have
Okay.
wonderful ideas
Yeah.
about life.
I
And
love
so
that.
yeah, it's not just business, it's
Right.
more than that. So
Right.
and Instagram, all of those, and
Okay.
Snapchat, I'm on all of those. So
Okay,
there.
perfect. Okay, cool. But thank you again. You're putting so much beauty and joy out into this world, and I appreciate you for that. And I truly hope that we could stay connected, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
I would love it. I love it. Thank you so much. You've been
Yeah.
a delight.
No,
Thank
you
you. And
too.
God bless you for all you do.
Yeah, no, thank you. Your kind comments mean a lot to me. But yeah, I wish you all the best moving forward. And yeah, take care and have a good night.
Okay, thank you so much. Take
Okay,
care.
you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for being here and tuning in to Voices That Propel Us, stories of justice, action, and community. Your presence in this movement matters. If today's conversation moved you, share it, talk about it, and keep the work going. Together, we're not just imagining change, we're making it. Until next time, stay bold, stay grounded, and stay in the fight.